going on? Am I live? What are we doing here? Come on. What's up, 49er fans? I'm Jason Aponte. Kyle Shanahan spoke today. Does any of his comments mean anything? Do they mean nothing? Do they mean something? Let's talk about it. Welcome, everybody. Let's go Niners. My name is Jason Aponte. I'm Jason Aponte. Make sure you like this video, subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell for when we go live. Kyle Shanahan spoke today at the owners' meetings, and after yesterday's tizzy over what I call the biggest nothing burger that I've ever heard of any general manager ever speaking, today was followed up by a second nothing burger of Kyle Shanahan. Before we get into opinions about what was said, let's start with just 5 facts or 4 facts. First of all, Brock Purdy is the leader in the clubhouse because of how he performed, and rightfully so. He played very well. Number 2, Brock Purdy isn't healthy. Number 3, Trey Lance is going to be ahead of his timeline and will have a chance to prove himself. Number 4, Sam Darnold is here for more than just to be QB3. Number 5, you're all making predictions right now based on a perfect world. Those are facts. They're inarguable. That's not for you to argue against and try to figure out a way to circumvent it. Those are your facts. And today, Kyle Shanahan followed up literally what John Lynch said with basically all of those sentiments. The only thing that was new was John Lynch's comment about training camp being a chance for Brock Purdy to be available. That felt like an opinion. And again, his timeline and his recovery is, as of right now, up in the air. There are no certainties when it comes to talking about a timeline. There's no timeline that's certain when it comes to healing, right? Those are things that are up in the air. And when you hear Kyle Shanahan say Trey Lance will have every opportunity, it's because Trey Lance will be cleared ahead of Brock Purdy. And Trey Lance will have a good opportunity in front of him to show what type of leap he's made. Let all of that sink in. And I'm going to be quiet for a second so that all settles in. Because the reactions and the overpouring of these two nothing burger conferences between Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch is insane. The day is March 28th. March 28th and March 27th comments will not have any bearing on how this 49ers quarterback situation goes. Let me repeat that one more time. March 27th and March 28th's comments about the San Francisco 49ers quarterback situation will not have any bearing on how this goes and who will be the starter. You know what will? Brock Purdy's health, Trey Lance's development, Sam Darnold's inclusion in all this. It's insane that people have now used these comments to somehow decipher some secret meaning when I feel for the first time, John Lynch and Kyle Shanahan have been very much saying things that are factual, down the middle, hard to argue, while also speaking in the present tense. And every time they talk about Brock Purdy is if he was healthy, if he was ready to go today. Well, I'll tell you what, he's not healthy, ready to go today. That's not possible. To be fair, neither is Trey Lance. But this is what, when you're not actually listening and reading into these things properly, can send you into a tizzy. Kyle Shanahan said as much, and I don't understand why anybody would get upset with him saying, well, Brock Purdy has earned this. He's played very well. And if he was healthy, he would be QB1 starting. Who would have an issue with that? Nobody. No one. Here's the issue. He said, we need to reevaluate this timeline 3 months in. Perfect world, sunshine and rainbows doesn't exist in any form or fashion in any part of the real world. It matters, and perfect world scenarios are even less in the world of San Francisco 49ers quarterback and injury updates on anyone. So let me ask the people who are so sure that Brock Purdy is already the quarterback when he hasn't been cleared, there's been no update on his timeline, that everything's going to be sunshine and rainbows when it comes to that, when there's literally a history of nothing ever being sunshine and rainbows when it comes to the 49ers. Explain it to me. I don't have pushback on anything that these guys said. Nothing. I am also completely dismissing anything that they say because none of it matters. Because today's March 28th. We need OTAs. We need minicamp. We need guys to get cleared to actually throw footballs and to get back to that level that people are so sure Brock Purdy will get right back to. All of those things need to happen before this prophecy becomes fulfilled of he's already the quarterback one. 6 minutes in. Make sure you guys like this video, subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell for when we go live. Taking some time out of my vacation, came back from the pool because I had all this on my mind, had it all on my heart, and I actually sat there and I let it rationalize in my head, move around a little bit. But I want to give you the one pushback that I have. And this is going to get a little spicy. Trey Lance, we are comfortable with who he is. We're giving him the keys to this luxury car. We feel good. Sam Darnold. All right. So let's go to Sam Darnold. And this is where my pushback is going to be. When he signed, I told you guys, he's more than just a quarterback 3. He's here to compete. When you look at Kyle's infatuation with him, when you look at the money, follow the money, like Vish said, follow the money. It's a good indicator. Here's my pushback. There seems to be an outpouring of support for Sam Darnold when just 1 year ago, one full calendar year ago, we were having the same conversation about Sam Darnold and maybe he needs to change the scenery. Well, you see the throws sometimes. Yeah, he makes some terrible throws. And so many, I don't want to say 100%, 75, 80, 90% of 49ers fans said, I don't want Sam Darnold on my fucking team. He's trash. Let me ask you a question about why now all of a sudden there are 49er fans who sit there and say, you got to give Sam Darnold a look. Oh my goodness, he has the tools. What changed? You know what changed? Your bias is showing. Your confirmation bias is showing. 1 full year ago, many 49ers, analysts, podcasters said, listen, if you're taking on Sam Darnold, you're taking on a guy who has many throws in the bag that can be cultivated, but you have to take all of these bad plays into account. And 49er fans said, no. He's garbage. He sees ghosts. I don't want him. Now, he gets signed. And now, when you hear Kyle Shanahan say he's going to be taking first-team reps with Trey Lance, it's, we've got to give Sam Darnold a look. He might be a diamond in the rough. I call complete and utter bullshit on that. I don't want to talk about the Brock Purdy stuff because he's not healthy. And he should be the presumed quarterback one. I don't want to talk about Trey Lance because he's going to be ahead of schedule and he's going to actually be able to compete early and has a chance to show something. What I want to talk about is when all of a sudden Sam Darnold has become the quarterback that now all of you are so interested to see when just 1 calendar year ago, before he became a Carolina Panther, you said he sucks, he's washed, and I don't want him. But now you want to see him take reps away from Trey Lance, who the 49ers moved heaven and earth to acquire at the number 3 pick because you think Sam Darnold might be a diamond in the rough and all of a sudden the lights are going to kick on. I want you to sit and ponder that because I don't think any of you have a good answer for it. I don't. It is absolutely ridiculous. The absolute flip-flop on the fact that 1 year ago, Sam Darnold was a guy who you didn't want to touch with a 10-foot pole. And now You are comfortable with hearing your coach say, we want to give Sam Darnold reps and split them with Trey Lance. Incredible. And let me ask you this, Devin. When granted, with new information, opinions change, bud. 5 games of him being okay for the Carolina Panthers has now allowed you to have new information and change your opinion on Sam Darnold. So let me ask you a question. 61 games of him being downright awful and 5 games of him as a Carolina Panther in which he looked somewhat competent has now put you in a position where you can change your information and your opinion. You have to be kidding me. In those same games that Sam Darnold, and I beg people, please, I don't want to be that guy, please go back and watch the games. In those same games that Sam Darnold was somewhat competent, that's the best compliment I can give him. Not good, not great, not amazing, somewhat competent. In those games that he was somewhat competent, he still had baffling throws, even when Ben McAdoo stripped the offense down and made it much more intermediate and deep. I want to know when all of a sudden 49ers Twitter decided today is the day that we're going to back Sam Darnold and think Sam Darnold is the future or Sam Darnold should get reps. No, and absolutely no. I don't want to be that guy. I'm enjoying my vacation. But I guarantee you, if I started putting people's ads in and I started putting in Sam Darnold, I would pull 300 tweets from people saying Sam Darnold's trash. He sees ghosts. I don't want to see him on his team. He's garbage. And yet now those same people are saying, yeah, why wouldn't you want to see Sam Darnold get QB1 reps with Trey Lance? Unbelievable. That's my biggest pushback. I don't understand how that happened. Now, look, why are we having this conversation? It's because you believe in your coach. It's because you look at the offense and you see an offense in which guys are running wide open. It's because you do see Sam Darnold make some highlight throws. But those are things that you still haven't seen. And yet, so many people have switched from Sam Darnold's garbage to, well, I would like to see it now. But you didn't want to see it last year. You didn't want to see it last year. None of you, and don't lie. Do not lie. Please do not come in here. Do not lie. Do not lie. Do not come in here and say, yeah, I wanted Sam Darnold. I wanted to take a look at Sam Darnold because even when I posted good clips for Sam Darnold saying, look at this throw, but here's a bad throw, or, you're going to have to deal with this. Nope, no, thank you. Don't want Sam Darnold. Don't care. Nope. But now, when Trey Lance has an opportunity to get the one thing that this young man needs in order to tell the 49ers all they need to know about what they should do going forward is reps. And now you want to split those reps with a guy that nobody who's a 49ers fan wanted. None. Guys, it's time to start talking about the facts. It's time to start keeping yourself reality-based. I understand it's March. I understand you guys want to talk about the team and you guys are, riled up with your thoughts and your predictions. And I'm no different than you guys. I have predictions, I have thoughts, but there's facts. There's facts right now that need to be spoken about. The facts are, again, I'll go through them. Brock Purdy should be the leader in the clubhouse. And if he was healthy and there was no problems and the 49ers season ended, however, should be the quarterback 1 going into this season. 2, Brock Purdy's not healthy. 3, Trey Lance has a chance to be healthy ahead of him and take reps ahead of him and show the growth. 4, Trey Lance has a chance, if with those reps, to show that he shouldn't give the job back. 5, Sam Darnold is here to compete. 6, none of you wanted Sam Darnold, so don't even sit here and lie like you wanted Sam Darnold here, or you're all of a sudden a fan, or I've always campaigned for him to be here. It doesn't make sense. My pushback is not about those 5 facts. My pushback's on that 6th fact of none of you wanted Sam Darnold. None of you ever believed that he could be anything. All of a sudden, there seems to be a growing discussion about what Sam Darnold could be all of a sudden. at the expense of the one thing that Trey Lance needs more than anything: reps. Please make it make sense, and I guarantee you can. 15 minutes in, 72 people in here. Make sure you like this video, subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell for when we go live. Whew. I don't know, guys. I'm trying to be rational. Again, these two days of the press conferences don't matter. Nothing that was said matters. Let's look back a year at the owners' meetings as well, too, and what was being said about Jimmy Garoppolo. We're trying to trade Jimmy Garoppolo. We don't think the surgery is going to have any problem with it. And then, sure enough, when things start to play out, Jimmy Garoppolo's back. If that's not your ultimate sign of we're saying something in March because that's what we think is going on in March, and it has no sort of prediction towards the future, and the future is going to play itself out because there's variables and factors that need to happen, it's insane to me that now all of the things that I've laid out as facts that are inarguable are literally right there in front of you, and you didn't need to hear John Lynch or Kyle Shanahan speak about. And yet, there are people. Well, it's wrapped up. Lance is done. It's Purdy's job. Purdy's not even healthy yet, but it's Purdy's job. Get the gold jacket ready. Franchise quarterback. I want to tell you this. I have no agenda for any of these quarterbacks. I really don't care. Give me the quarterback that's going to win the most games. Give me the quarterback that's going to bring number 6. I'm good with that. I promise you I have no agenda. My problem is with the line of thinking and how much people have decided to jump on, well, Purdy's already quarterback 1. Well, he has to get healthy. Lance is done. Well, Lance is going to get a chance. Oh, well, Sam deserves reps. Well, you didn't want Sam. It's March 28th. People are starved for 49ers content. The owners' meetings are a great place because there's a lot of drama. I mean, you saw what happened with John Harbaugh. You see what's going on with the other coaches. My thing is, there's a lot of facts for you guys to go off of and things that are logical that don't have to put you in a spot where you have to say anything crazy. And right now, this is peak off-season. Peak off-season nothing burgers. You have been served 2 huge nothing burgers when it comes to this quarterback position. All of these things that you guys were talking about when it comes to rational thoughts about the quarterback position. Purdy should be QB1. I don't think that that's able to be argued. Trey Lance is going to have a shot. I don't think that should be argued. Sam Darnold's actually here to compete. I don't think that should have been argued. I don't think any of those things can be argued. But John Lynch and Kyle Shanahan say things, and all of a sudden the things that you heard change the things that you knew and force you to irrationally act. My thing is, the whole thing about Sam Darnold is largely surrounding a 5-game sample size. Here's what's funny, right? You got 61 games of Sam Darnold being legitimately, objectively awful at the quarterback position. And sure, coaching, surrounding talent, those things definitely are a factor into that. And then there's a 5-game sample size in which Sam Darnold is adequate, decent, and it somehow erases all of those 61 games. Here's the thing about sample sizes, guys. 8-game sample size, Brock Purdy, get the gold jacket. 4-game sample size of Trey Lance, man, I think he's done. 5-game sample size of Sam Darnold. Oh, I think we got something here. The reason that I'm pointing this out is, however you decide to view these things exposes your personal bias. It's okay to say I'm optimistic about the 8 games from Brock Purdy. It's okay to say I don't know what Trey Lance is after 4 games. And it's certainly okay to say I believe my eyes over 61 games with Sam Darnold more than I do 5. When you start to point to certain things and say, this is what's going to happen. This is, see what he said? Oh, I told you Brock Purdy was going to start. Sure. Didn't take a rocket science to figure that out. But 8 games hardly makes you ready for a gold jacket. 5 games hardly makes you a bust. 5 games over a 66 game career hardly means you turned it around. The best way I can put it. And if you want to be optimistic about Brock Purdy, cool. Great. Just make sure you have this in mind. Players have flashed in 8 starts and had a career that hasn't been as fulfilling. Also, Brock Purdy's injured. He still needs to get healthy. And then once he gets healthy, has to get back to that same place that he was that has you all excited, which is no gimme either. These aren't formalities. These are hurdles that need to be cleared. But it's funny. He has a serious injury. Well, Nick Mullins came back from it. He was fine. Nick Mullins is a backup, and he's garbage. I don't care. Have you seen a starting quarterback come back from this and legitimately keep his career going? Jake Delhomme had Tommy John surgery, came back 7 months later. Jake Delhomme fell off the map. He played the next year, but fell off the map. Brock Purdy has a few things that he needs to attack. When he gets those done, then we can talk about where he goes forward because he still has to develop. There is a world where Brock Purdy still hasn't reached his ceiling. I think that's the world I want to live in. I think that's the world that many of us want to live in. But there's a world where it does not. And he does not, because we've seen players hit their ceiling in 8 games and all of a sudden didn't develop the same way, let alone coming off an injury. So there's Brock Purdy's story. Trey Lance, 4 games, 5 games. It's funny to me that when people attack me for the way that I judge Purdy in training camp was based on the way he performed in training camp. And I will tell you, I don't care what anybody says, he did not perform well in training camp. And a little bit of that has to do with the fact that he did not get reps every single day. Some days he would get 3 reps. Some days he would get 5 reps. You know why? Because they were eager to get all the reps at Trey Lance so he could learn. See how that works? See that? And I'm going to come back to that. But my mistake with Purdy was to think that he couldn't turn it onto the field, and he did. So there's my mistake. That's my L. My L isn't the way that I evaluated him at training camp. Shit, I mean, people sat down when it was time for him to come on. Nobody was really watching the kid, and he didn't have many reps. So there's that. Now, Trey Lance. So many people want to look at, well, I just missed training camp for Purdy because of what he did on the field. But so many people haven't seen anything from Lance on the field, and they say, well, think about the training camp reports and how he looked. So now training camp matters for Lance, but it didn't matter for Purdy. You've got to figure out where you stand, and you've got to be able to stand in the fact that you have an opinion, which you're entitled to. You can make predictions, which you're absolutely entitled to. But there's cold, hard facts, and there are things that you look at that will put you into a space where you are exposing your own agenda or whatever it is that you want to be true. Whatever it is you want to be true. These are the things that I'm talking about. So again, 24 minutes in, make sure you like this video, subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell for when we go live. Shout out to all of you guys. Appreciate you guys for letting me yell a little bit as well too. But I'm frustrated. I'm frustrated because there's nothing about what Kyle and John said that should be breaking news, should be anything in terms of, I didn't know this. I like to think many 49er fans are very smart. And all of this stuff was easy to see. All that stuff is easy to see. My issue now is with the way that now all of a sudden Sam Darnold is going to get QB1 reps when the one thing Trey Lance needs more than anything to grow is reps. And why does Sam Darnold even deserve those reps? There's a 61 game sample size of him being largely terrible. And there's a 5 game sample size at the end of last season with the Carolina Panthers in which he was adequate. What about those 5 games tells you more about him than the 61 in which he was objectively awful? And why does Trey Lance even have to skip and split reps with him? That's my biggest issue with this. I dislike it. I think it's a bad process. I think that it is insane to think if the 49ers drafted a quarterback that they were very high on, let's just throw this out as a hypothetical. Someone that they were very high on, someone that has large draft grades and somebody who could be looked at as a starter, but never has really played football at the NFL level. I could easily digest that much more than you telling me Sam Darnold with 61 starts, who was bad, 5 starts where he was adequate, now really gets a chance to split reps with Trey Lance. In training camp, there's the team 1. And team 1 is Trent Williams, Deebo Samuel, Brandon Ayuk, George Kittle, Christian McCaffrey. Those are all the guys that run, right? That's who Trey Lance needs to be running with. That team. Sam Darnold needs to be behind with Ray McLeod and Danny Gray and all those other guys. Point blank, period. I don't know how someone who you just brought in and signed automatically is granted this chance when there's a guy that you need to evaluate much more than you do Sam Darnold, and you have a bigger sample size of Sam Darnold. I just don't understand how this thought process works. But it doesn't matter what I think. The bottom line is this, and I'm going to end it here because I want to go enjoy myself on vacation. I'm going to leave you with your facts. And none of these things were learned by Kyle Shanahan or John Lynch speaking. 1, Brock Purdy, if healthy, absolutely should be the quarterback 1 based on what he's done. And who can argue that? 2, Brock Purdy isn't healthy. And there are no games this week. There's no games next week. And he still has hurdles to clear before he can get back and take QB1 reps. 3, Trey Lance would be ahead of him because he's going to be cleared earlier. So he has a chance. 4, Sam Darnold's here to compete. Sam Darnold is here to compete. 5, I don't understand. This isn't a fact, but I don't understand why Sam Darnold would get quarterback 1 reps over Trey Lance. Shout out to all you guys. Make sure you like this video, subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell for when we go live. I'm going to go enjoy my day. Let me know in the comments how you feel about me yelling. Say whatever you want at this point. I'm on vacation. By the time I read it, I'll be 4 or 5 drinks in, having a good time, working on my tan, whatever it is. But shout out to you guys. Appreciate you. And as always, let's go Niners. Welcome, everybody. Let's go Niners. My name is Jason Aponte.